Hello and welcome to On the Mat with Lydia, that's me. And whatever has brought you to your yoga practice today, you are very welcome here. Today's class is a Vata-Pacifying practice. So if you're not familiar with Vata dosha, I encourage you to check out my Get to Know the Doshas video here on the channel. I'll leave that link down in the description and put it somewhere on the screen for you as well. But Vata dosha is characterized by these elements of air and ether. So Vata is all about movement and change and activity, a lot like your usual fast-paced vinyasa flow classes, where you're constantly just moving with your breath. So in order to balance out that really hyperactive energy of Vata, this practice today is going to be a lot more grounding and slow and steady, and we'll be incorporating a lot of stillness and longer holds. So ultimately, we're looking to bring in a little bit more slowness into those places in the practice that we usually just flow right on through without even thinking about it. So for today, if you have 2 blocks, I encourage you to use them, as well as any other props that you might have nearby. And when you're ready, let's get on the mat. Please begin in a comfortable seated position on your mat. So take a moment to ground your sits bones either directly into the earth, or perhaps you'd like to sit up on one of your blocks or a blanket. Just allowing yourself to really feel each sits bone connecting down into something. And once you feel that connection, that solid connection of your sits bones to the earth, start to lengthen your spine up a little bit taller, drop the shoulders back and down. And if it feels safe and comfortable for you, you can close your eyes. And we'll take these first few moments of practice today to really feel into this connection of our bodies to the earth. So it might feel nice to even wiggle around a little bit to really feel that surface of your sits bones, of your butt cheeks on the mat. Allowing for this heaviness through your hips, your legs, your feet. And perhaps turning your palms to face down on top of your thighs, encouraging once again this heaviness, this grounding through the lower body. Feeling that you're creating for yourself this really strong base of support. Feeling yourself being held by the earth underneath you. And once you've found that foundation of support, now beginning to relax the rest of your body. So feeling this softening around the muscles around your spine, your shoulders, your arms, your wrists, your fingers. Softening around the muscles of your neck, your throat, your jaw. Softening the muscles of your face, the space around your eyes, your forehead. And feeling that you have this permission to relax and soften into this moment. Knowing that there is nothing you have to do right now, nowhere else you have to be. And just for today, just for even this time on your yoga mat, see if you can keep your mind focused on what's going on in your body. So right now, what sensations are you feeling? Are you noticing any areas of your body that are resistant to softening and relaxing? And finally, as we center ourselves into this practice today, we'll take some time to bring awareness to the breath. Your breath is your constant companion. helping you to stay grounded, centered, focused throughout your yoga practice today. So take some time now to get to know the natural rhythm of your breathing in and out through your nose. Notice how it feels as your breath moves through your body. And notice that there's no need to change or force your breath in any way. Please remember that as we move throughout our practice today, our sort of motto or intention for practice will be slow and steady. This is your time to really slow things down. Really be consciously aware of what's happening in your body, in your mind, in your practice. And to cultivate this steadiness, this feeling of center. And that steadiness can feel so nourishing for those of us who are experiencing a lot of this Vata energy. So with this present awareness in your body, with your breath, with this intention to move nice and slow and steady today, let's start to incorporate some gentle movement into our practice. So your eyes might remain closed here, or you could find a soft gaze towards the earth in front of you. With your next inhale, please reach your arms out and up towards the sky, using your entire inhale to bring your fingertips up. Then as you start your exhale, turn your palms out, start to release your arms down. Again, using that entire exhalation to lower the arms. At the start of your next inhale, palms face up, sweep your arms to the sky, really stretching out through your fingertips. As you exhale, palms turn down, reaching out and bringing your hands back to the earth. Let's take one more just like that. Palms up as you inhale. As you exhale, palms come back down. Now this time as you inhale, sweeping your arms high to the sky. At the top of your inhale, looking for a little more length through the sides of your waist, staying heavy through the hips. And with your next natural exhale, bring your palms together and down in front of your heart. Option to tuck your chin in towards your chest, bowing your head towards your hands for another moment in stillness here. Allowing yourself once again to feel into your body, into your breath, and acknowledge any thoughts that might be moving through your mind without any need to attach to them or engage with them. This time on your mat is time just for you. Let's take a breath in through the nose. Sigh it out through your mouth. And if your eyes are still closed, gently flutter them open. Bringing your hands down to the mat. Let's uncross the legs. Bring the soles of your feet out in front of you. We'll keep the knees bent here, feet about hips width distance apart, setting up for our boat pose today. So your first option with the hands is to keep them back behind your hips, grounded to the earth. Your second option is hands to the backs of your thighs, feeling this kind of hugging in there with hands and legs. Now lifting up tall through the crown of your head, let's take a big inhale here. As you exhale, start to lean your torso back until you feel your navel hug in towards your spine. From that strength of your core, take an inhale, start to lift your feet, maybe just to hover off the mat for today. If it feels right for you, you might bring the feet a little higher, shins parallel to the earth. Now remember, hands can stay behind your thighs or back behind your hips. Not looking for our most intense boat pose for today, just enough to feel this hugging in, this engagement around the core. This core engagement today will really help us finding our steadiness and our centeredness as we continue to move through these poses. So let's start to cultivate that relationship now. Really nice long hold. Let's take another inhale here. As you exhale, slowly bring your feet back to the ground. Lifting your spine up tall once again. Let's bring the right heel underneath the left leg as if you're going to kick your left butt cheek. And then that left foot is going to cross up and over the right thigh, finding our half Lord of the Fishes shape here. If this starts to irritate the right knee, please feel free to straighten that right leg instead. Same twist, a little bit of a kinder sensation for the knee. So sitting up tall, feel that heaviness once again through the sits bones, this length through the spine. Let's take an inhale. As you exhale, take a gentle twist over towards that left knee. Lots of options with the hands here. For today, I'll offer you the option to kind of hug the leg here. So right arm around the left knee, fingers interlace, gently pulling the knee in towards your chest as you sit up a little taller. Remember, today we're not looking for any forcing of movement or breath. We're finding that place of steadiness and ease and breathing into the pose there. Starting to awaken your spine with this movement, with this breath. Let's take another inhale here. As you exhale, slowly unwind, bringing your chest back to center. Awesome. Uncrossing your legs. Please bring the soles of your feet back to the earth for one more boat pose here today. You know your options, hands behind the hips or to the backs of your thighs. Taking an inhale to get tall. As you exhale, leaning back, find that C curve, navel drawing in towards your spine. Then with the strength of your core, inhale to lift your feet any amount. With your exhale, gently draw your shoulders back and down. So chest stays proud here, nice and light, resting on your spine, while your core is keeping that hugging in, that engaging sensation. So we have this beautiful balance that happens here, this engagement and this freedom, this stability and this mobility. And when Vata is in balance, it's really a master of that balance between the two. So today we're going to cultivate both that strength and that softness. Well done. Let's take another inhale here. As you exhale, lightly land your feet. Beautiful. This time crossing your left foot underneath your right leg as if your heel is going to kick that right butt cheek. And then your right foot can cross up and over that left thigh. Remember, if the left knee is feeling a little tight or crunchy, you can always straighten out that left leg and find the same twist here. So let's get heavy through those sits bones. Take an inhale to sit up tall. As you exhale, take your gentle twist over towards that right knee. Gently encouraging your right shoulder back as you spread the collarbones. And maybe creating that hugging in with the arms that we did before, fingers interlaced. Feeling this beautiful downward grounding energy through your hips, through your legs, which allows you to lift up a little taller through your spine, finding some lightness, some space with your breath. And let's take another inhale here. And exhale to slowly unwind your twist, uncrossing your legs. And now we'll move on to hands and knees. Find all fours. We're just passing through here for today, but we're going to take our time with these transitions here. So planting down through your palms, pushing down through the tops of your feet, through your shins. Maybe taking a moment to explore some movement through the spine. And then finding some stillness here, even if just for a moment. Lifting navel to spine to find that beautiful core engagement we've been working on. Feeling this connection of the palms of your hands with the earth underneath you. And feeling the strength of your body as you hold yourself up here. Now keep that connection with your palms, that strength of the body, as you begin to tuck your toes behind you, send your hips back, and then lift your hips up, straightening out the knees, coming into downward facing dog. Now this is our first one of the practice, so you might choose to take a little movement here if that feels nice, just helping to warm up the backs of the legs. But once you feel ready to here, I really encourage you to play with some stillness today. So maybe that means you step your feet out a little bit wider so you have this really nice base of support through the legs. Maybe you bend the knees a little or a lot so you can really send the hips back and push down through the palms. Finding what works for you here today. So maybe that even means coming back down to your tabletop position. And then really connecting to those places in your body that are touching the earth. Feel into that foundation. And with your next inhale, begin to bend your knees, look forward. As you exhale, take a nice slow walk to the top of your mat, feeling each footprint on the floor as your feet walk up to meet your hands. As you arrive in your Uttanasana, forward fold, again letting the knees be bent a little or a lot. Maybe your feet today stay wider than hips width distance, or maybe they're placed right underneath the hips. Allowing yourself a few more moments here to kind of readjust to this new shape. Feeling this grounding through your feet, this space through the back line of your body. And getting used to this new way of breathing while you're in this inversion, allowing your head to relax down below the heart. Beautiful job. With your next inhale, please rise for your halfway lift. Hands finding your thighs, your shins, or maybe your yoga blocks. Keep that grounding down through the soles of your feet as you lengthen out through the crown of your head. Taking another inhale here. Exhale to bend your knees and fold forward once again. Now this time, bending your knees deeply, drop your tailbone like you have a big heavy tail coming up behind you. And as you inhale, slowly start to roll yourself up to stand, little by little coming all the way up. At the top, shoulders drop back and down as you arrive into Tadasana, mountain pose. So let's actually take a moment now to really find our Tadasana, mountain pose, since we're paying so much attention to our grounding here today. So let's start with the feet. Let's set them up about hips width distance, maybe slightly wider if you want that really large base of support today. Then plugging down through the soles of your feet, bringing special awareness to the big toe mound, as well as your outer heel of each foot. And as you plug down through the soles of your feet, feel your toes can relax. Then from your inner ankles, feel this lifting up through the inner lines of your legs, rising all the way up into the hips, and then feeling that gentle hugging in at the core, so that you're engaging your entire lower body. So we're feeling here that we're not just standing on the mat, but the legs are really engaged. The soles of your feet are really plugging in, connected to the earth. And then from there, your spine lifts up tall, your arms rest by your sides, finding that beautiful, strong mountain pose. So we'll keep these foundations of our mountain pose as we move throughout the practice today, especially as we go through some standing postures. So remember, today is slow and steady. So I encourage you to bring yourself back to this Tadasana whenever you need a reminder of that grounding, that strength down through the legs. So right now in your Tadasana mountain pose, let's stay for one more breath in. Side out through your mouth. Now as you inhale, rising your arms. As you exhale, sit your hips down and back, arriving in your chair pose. Now arms can really do whatever they'd like here today. We're not so much concerned with the arms as much as we are with the lower body. So feel here that you can keep that same connection down through the soles of your feet, that same strong energy lifting up through your legs into your core. Now we're just sending the energy of the hips down and back so we can get a little lower as if we're actually about to sit down into a chair. Now remember as well, we're taking a few longer holds in our practice today. So if you start to notice any resistance or discomfort as we come into stillness, recognize that is totally normal and see if you can take just that one more breath in stillness. Allow yourself that time to really play with and explore the still parts of our practice. In our chair pose here, let's take one more inhale. As you exhale, folding your upper body forward over your legs, arms coming down towards the earth, finding Uttanasana, forward fold. Once again, we'll stay here a little bit longer for about 5 rounds of breath. So you're free to take any variation with your arms, like planting your palms, maybe grabbing your big toes or your ankles. Keeping that connection through the soles of your feet, that strength of your legs. And just like we did at the start of our practice, seeing how much you can surrender through your upper body, allowing for that softness to move into the muscles of your back, your neck, your jaw. Beautifully done. Let's take another inhale right here. And exhale. Inhaling for your halfway lift, grounding your hands on your legs or your blocks. As you exhale, fingertips come back towards the mat. Step your left foot back behind you and drop your hips down into a lunge. So just passing through here for today, but just like we did earlier, really taking our time through these transitions. So feeling your feet on the mat, feeling this possibly new sensation for your hips as you drop that left hip down. And then if you have your 2 blocks, let's reach for them now. We're going to bring them to the top of the mat on the tallest setting, just in front of that right foot. Now, if you don't have your blocks, a-okay to reach for the floor, or maybe if you have water bottles, a stack of books, anything that can lift the earth up to you. Now, shifting weight into that right foot, let's take an inhale to rock the heart forward. As you exhale, hug your navel in, start to lift your left foot any amount off the mat, coming into a supported warrior 3. So if you have those blocks, this can be really nice to lift the earth up to you, give you that support in this pose without any strain or force. No matter where you are, connect to that grounding down through the right foot, And see if you can find that similar energy back through the left leg, really kicking out through that left heel. Looking for steadiness through the engagement of your muscles, through the flow of your breath. Let's take another inhale right here. Please stay for your exhale. Good. As you inhale, slowly start to reach that left foot back behind you, toes coming back towards the earth. As you exhale, drop the inner left heel down. So we're setting up for triangle pose in the legs. Take an inhale to sweep your arms all the way up and back. Find a little reverse warrior. Then as you exhale, arms to a T, let's set up for triangle. Reaching your right arm forward, kick that left hip back. Feel some length there in the sides of your waist as you take one more breath in, reach, reach, reach. Exhaling, drop your right hand down to your shin, to your thigh, to your block, whatever you have to keep you grounded in this pose. Now again, let's bring our foundations in here, settling into the feet, pushing down through your big toe mounds, your outer heels, and feeling that connection to the earth. Energy rising up the legs, little engagement in the core. And from that support, feeling your upper body free to open up here. Now that left arm might choose to drop down for today. Again, you always have an option with these arm variations. And as we stay for another about 3 rounds of breath, I invite you to drop into a few moments of silence and just see where your mind goes for this bit of time. Let's take one more inhale here. And exhale completely. As you inhale, slowly begin to rise up out of the pose. As you exhale, drop your arms by your sides. Let them hang heavy for a moment. Let's readjust the legs here. So left hip is going to turn forward. Left foot will follow until we're squared off towards the top of your mat. Now I invite you today to take your feet really wide apart so that once again you have this strong base of support. Let's take an inhale to reach the arms up. As you exhale, start to bring your heart forward. As you do, let your arms sweep back. Soft bend in the knees here as you bring your chest down all the way over your right thigh. Arms can come back behind you, possibly interlacing your fingers or bringing your fists together behind your back. Now, if the arms are behind you, think about lifting the fronts of your shoulders away from the floor. So we keep a little lift of the heart even in this fold. If having the arms up here just feels really unsupportive and wobbly for you today, hands can drop down onto your blocks or onto the mat. Beautiful place for them to be. And once again, we have a nice long hold here, taking your time to soak in this pose. Just like we did in our triangle pose, allowing yourself to watch your mind, watch your thoughts for a moment. So often when we have a lot of this Vata energy going on in our lives, in our bodies, in the world, that manifests as this hyperactivity, not just as far as movement, but as far as our thoughts. So notice, without any judgment or expectation, if your thoughts are racing right now, notice the pace of your thoughts. Notice the volume of your thoughts. And allow whatever is there to be as it is for this moment. No need to change anything. Let's take one more deep breath here, inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your mouth. Fingertips finding blocks or mat once again if they're not already there. Please bend into your right knee, send your left foot back behind you, passing through our lunge. And then planting your palms firmly on the mat. Step your right foot back to meet your left, rising your hips for downward facing dog. Let's stay for an inhale here. And exhale. As you inhale, rock your weight forward onto your palms, finding your plank pose. As you exhale, gently drop your knees and lower your chest all the way down to the mat. As you arrive, arms will reach back behind you, palms facing down into the floor. Legs about hips width distance, so it's like you're making a number 11 back behind you. Let your hips get heavy, pushing down towards the mat. Take an inhale, begin to rise your head and chest any amount off the floor. Option to stick right here for today, or begin to lift your feet any amount, coming into our locust shape. As your hips anchor down, bringing a little hugging in at the core, navel lifting up towards your spine. Breathing into that strength of your back body here as we take one more inhale. Exhale, lightly land down onto the mat. Well done. Hands come back to either side of your chest now. Pressing your hips up and back, let's come into child's pose. Now, if child's pose is not feeling very supportive or kind for your body today, then you have the option instead to come to Sukhasana, easy seat. And from there, you can plant your palms in front of you, drop the head down, and find just a little forward fold action there. Otherwise, we're settling into that child's pose with the big toes together, hips to heels. And staying in whatever shape you've chosen for the next about 5 rounds of breath. And now all those muscles of the back that we were just strengthening with that locust pose, start to breathe into those muscles and find some softness. So remember, Vata at its finest is the queen of balance. So we're looking for this beautiful harmony between the strength and the stretch. While you're here, connecting to those parts of your body that are touching the earth, bringing in a little bit more heaviness to the body, see if that helps you to relax a little bit more deeply. And let's stay for one more inhale here. Exhale completely. Inhaling to slowly rise up, passing through tabletop position. And then tucking your toes, lifting your hips. Let's make our way back to downward facing dog. Bending your knees deeply here, take an inhale. As you exhale, step by step, making your way to the top of your mat, feeling each footprint as your feet come up to meet your hands. Uttanasana, forward fold. As you arrive, take a breath in and breath out. Inhaling for halfway lift, lengthening your spine. Exhale to rebend your knees and fold forward. Letting your tailbone drop, take an inhale, start to roll yourself up to standing, vertebrae by vertebrae. Coming up to the top, dropping your shoulders back and down, chin comes to neutral. And coming back to your strong Tadasana mountain pose. Reconnecting here through the soles of your feet. Feeling that engagement through the legs, that hugging in through the core. And taking a moment here in presence just to really feel yourself standing here on your mat. Feeling your body, feeling your breath. Feeling yourself held in this space right now. Let's take a breath in. Side out. Awesome. As you inhale, please rise your arms. Exhale, sit your hips back. Come into chair pose. Again, any variation with your arms that you'd like will be here for about 5 rounds of breath. Keeping that beautiful connection down through the lower body and allowing your heart to stay lifted here through the upper body. So again, looking for that balance, that engagement, and that freedom. And now Vata, another kind of specialty of this energy is this exploration, curiosity, creativity. So allow that to still be infused throughout this practice. So we're not looking to tamp down all that Vata is, we're just looking to bring some of this grounding, centered energy to these beautiful aspects of Vata. So while still keeping that playfulness, appreciating your curiosity, we'll see how we can match that with a little bit more steadiness. So here in your chair pose, really getting curious about some sensations going on. Maybe you're feeling a little wobbliness through the legs here, lots of strength work going on. Let's stay for just one more inhale. As you exhale, folding over your legs, coming down into Uttanasana. 5 rounds of breath here. Again, any variation with the arms. But I'll invite you this time to bring the palms of your hands to face up to the sky. And then slide your hands underneath your feet so that your toes come right up to the wrist crease here. So stepping onto the hands, letting the knees be bent, feet are heavy. Feeling that connection between the soles of your feet and the palms of your hands. And then maybe moving the toes around, shifting your weight a little bit to get this almost massaging action there for the hands and the wrists. So again, we have these options to explore and get curious, while also encouraging this grounding energy. And wherever you are, let's take another inhale here. Exhale completely. Walking your hands out from under your feet if you had them there. Let's take an inhale for halfway lift. As you exhale, fingertips find the mat. Step your right foot back behind you, coming back into your lunge. So taking this as a moment of transition, a place where we might usually just kind of flow right through, not really paying attention. But today we're really gonna feel into this moment. Grounding through the balls of the feet, connecting down through the fingertips, and feeling this sensation through the length of your body. And if you have those yoga blocks, again, bring them to the top of your mat. We'll start to shift our weight forward into that left foot, taking an inhale to bring the chest forward. As you exhale, use the strength of your legs to help you lift that right foot any amount, coming into your supported warrior 3. So we're making a long line through the body from head to heel. That standing leg can be bent a little or a lot if you'd like. Now we're calling this supported today because the hands are going to stay grounded whether that's on your blocks, on your leg, on the mat, somewhere where you feel that extra kind of kickstand action of the arms. Then as we've been practicing, feel that engagement through the lower body, through the core. Find some steadiness through the rhythm of your breath. And let's take another inhale here. Please stay for the exhale. Good. Inhaling, begin to land those right toes down to the mat. As you exhale, turn that inner right heel down, finding that heel to heel or heel to arch alignment. Now with an inhale, sweeping your arms all the way up and back, finding reverse warrior. As you exhale, bring your arms out to a T, setting up for triangle. So grounding down through the feet, those left toes pointing forward, right toes facing to the long edge of your mat. Let's take an inhale to reach the left arm out, kick the right hip back. As you exhale, land your left hand down to thigh, shin, or block, finding Trikonasana, triangle pose. Just like we've been practicing, find your foundations, grounding through the soles of your feet, strength through the legs and core, and then freedom here through the upper body. So maybe you take a different variation with that top arm. Maybe you explore a little more length in the sides of your waist. Finding the shape that feels best for you here as we spend about 3 more rounds of breath in our triangle. Leaning into the stillness and silence here. Check it out, see what's going on for you, whether this feels comfortable or a little bit weird. And let's take one more inhale here. Exhale completely. As you inhale, slowly rise back up. Exhale, arms drop by your sides. Let them hang heavy for a few moments. Setting up for our pyramid pose now. Let's turn the right hip forward, stepping out through that right foot as you do. So all 10 toes point to that top edge of your mat. Feet are nice and wide apart here, so you feel that you have your balance. Let's take an inhale to rise. The arms get tall through your spine. As you exhale, start to bring your heart forward. As you do so, sweep your arms back. Keep dropping the heart towards the thigh here. As you do, maybe fingers interlace behind you. Perhaps you go fist to fist. Or if all of that feels a little bit too wobbly today, hands can come down to the earth. Wherever you choose to be, stick with those foundations, pressing through both feet equally, feeling strength through your legs, your hips, your core, and allowing the upper body to soften and surrender as best you can. When in doubt, always coming back to your breath and to the sensations in your body, to help keep you present and grounded in this moment. Let's take one more inhale here. Please stay for your exhale. Fingertips dropping down to the mat. Let's take an inhale to rebend the left knee. Stepping your right foot way back. Let's find our lunge once again. Then planting your palms, step your left foot back to meet your right, coming into downward facing dog. Let's stay here for a breath in and breath out. Beautiful. Take an inhale to rock your weight forward towards your plank. As you exhale, lower your knees, lower your belly, lower your chest, coming all the way to your stomach. Arms reaching back behind you, palms face down. Let's set up for that locust pose once again. Anchoring through your hips. Let's take an inhale, begin to rise the chest. Option 1 to stay right here. Option 2, begin to rise the feet. Option 3 now, if you choose to add on, lifting the hands to hover off the mat. Keeping this length through your body as if you were standing in Tadasana, and feeling the strength of your back muscles really helping to create this back bend. Breathing into that, make sure you're still breathing. Let's take one more inhale. Exhale, slowly lower yourself back down to the earth. Hands come back to frame your chest. As you're ready, press yourself up and back to child's pose. Remember, if your child's pose is not feeling great today, you have the option to come to seated, bring the hands out in front of you, and drop the head into a fold. If you're okay with child's pose, start to walk the hands out, drop the head and chest down. Wherever you are, 5 rounds of breath to sink into this moment, softening those muscles of the back body and slowing down the pace of your breath. Meeting any racing thoughts, any moments of resistance, with a little smile, a bit of curiosity, and starting to notice and acknowledge these moments that feel a little bit more challenging or uncomfortable. And remembering that your yoga is a practice. It's a place where you get the chance to explore and investigate. And there's no need for it to be really serious. But it's this playful exploration of you. Right here, right now, let's take one more inhale. Exhale completely. As you inhale, slowly rise back up. Let's come to a seated position this time. Coming all the way onto your bum and grabbing your blocks if you have them. Now this time we're going to place those blocks to either side of our hips here. So we'll place them on the lowest setting just so we can have the hands really grounding and pressing down onto something here. If you have super long arms and a short torso, then you might bring your hands just flat onto the earth. Legs are extended straight out in front of you. Sits bones are once again connecting to the earth. And then pressing your hands down to either side of your hips. Feel that as you press the hands down, you can lift the chest up. As your legs reach out in front of you, your thighs are pressing down towards the earth. So you feel the same engagement through the legs as if you were standing in Tadasana. And we're going to stay here for about 5 rounds of breath, our Dandasana staff pose. Feeling still this strength of the legs, this length of the spine. And easing into more of this really slow, steady, grounded connection to the earth. Let's take one more inhale here. And exhale completely. Now from our Dandasana, all we're going to do is bend into that right knee, plant the sole of the foot, and then open your right knee wide, bringing the sole of your foot either to your inner thigh or your inner calf, setting up for Janu Sirsasana, almost like our tree pose in the legs here. Now, if that right knee is kind of hanging out in space or you'd like a little more support for the right hip, you can readjust your block to place it underneath your knee. And then sitting up nice and tall once again, you might like to bring your hands to your hip creases, that space between your thighs and your torso, and just gently press down, feeling your sits bones grounding into the earth while the crown of your head lifts up a little higher. And let's take an inhale to rise the arms. As you exhale, reach your heart forward as if you're going to kiss your toes. Dropping your hands down to the mat, to your shin, to your foot, wherever you reach. And then once you find that extension through your spine, maybe dropping your head down and surrendering into this forward fold. Allowing for a little softness here through your left knee, but keeping that same grounding, that heaviness down through the hips. And we'll start to extend our holds for just a little bit longer here. So this time we're going to aim to stay for about 10 rounds of breath. Now within that time, if you experience any resistance or discomfort that is not any kind of physical pain, and see if you can allow yourself to breathe into it and stay for just that one more breath. Really lean into that discomfort and get curious about what's going on there. And another benefit of our longer holds here is that we get the opportunity to really relax into the stretch a little bit more deeply. So without forcing or straining your body in any way, see if you can use each round of breath as an invitation to relax some part of your body. And maybe you'll find that you just naturally sink a little bit deeper into this forward fold. You're doing so well. We only have about 3 more rounds of breath here. With your next natural inhale, slowly start to rise back up to seated. Once you come back to your nice tall spine, you can stretch out that right leg once again and maybe give your legs a little shake. And we'll take that same pose to the other side. So when you feel ready, keeping that right leg extended, bend your left knee, bringing the sole of your left foot either to your inner thigh or inner calf as you open through that left hip. Now again, if your knee is hovering or you'd like a little extra support, it can feel really nice to bring your block right there underneath your knee. Starting out by really feeling into that connection through your sits bones, maybe pressing into the hip creases a little bit. And taking an inhale to rise your arms. As you exhale, reaching your heart forward, start to come into your forward fold. Hands landing down wherever you'd like to ground them here, whether that's on your mat, somewhere on your leg, somewhere on your foot. And then gently dropping your chin towards your chest, allowing for just a bit of rounding through the upper back here. Then breathing into any sensation here through the back line of your right leg and even into your lower back. Again, we have about 10 rounds of breath here to explore, to experience. So getting curious once again about where you can soften, about any areas of your body that might be resisting this surrender into the pose. And noticing that as I get a little bit more silent here, where does your mind go? Where does your focus begin to wander? And if you notice that your focus is not in this moment in your body, just gently bringing your awareness back to right here and right now. About 3 more rounds of breath. Stay with it. With your next natural inhale, slowly coming back up towards your tall spine, walking your hands back with you until you come upright. Stretching that left leg out to meet your right once again, maybe giving your legs a little shake. Beautiful. And then scooting yourself to about the middle of your mat so that you have some space behind you. Let's plant the feet and hug our arms around the backs of your legs. So you can either reach your hands to your thighs or maybe grab opposite elbows. And all we're gonna do here is drop the chin to the chest and lean the torso forward so that your head comes about in between the knees. So imagine wrapping yourself up in this nice big teddy bear hug. Letting the entire body get heavy, sinking into the earth. And noticing what it feels like just to be held in this moment. No expectations, nothing to do, nowhere to be. Just soaking in this moment here and now. Maybe bringing in a little bit of gratitude towards your body, your mind, your heart. Let's take another inhale here. Please stay for the exhale. From here, transitioning however you'd like to slowly bring yourself all the way onto your back. Moving with awareness, taking your time as you transition. And as you eventually make your way all the way onto your mat, bringing those knees back in towards your chest and recreating that nice big teddy bear hug. And now that you're on your back here, notice how your body might feel different. Notice any shifts in your breathing. And if it feels safe and comfortable for you, you might close your eyes here. Giving yourself a few moments just to feel yourself on the earth. Breathing into every inch of your body. Nice steady natural rhythm of breath. Allowing this moment to be what it is. How often do you really give yourself moments like this? Just doing nothing, being in the moment. And please stay here for as long as you'd like. But if you're ready to move on, please keep your right knee hugging in, extend your left leg long down your mat. We'll take an inhale here, moving towards our twist. As you exhale, right knee comes up and over your body towards that left side of your mat. Grounding down through your right shoulder, you might choose to stretch your right arm out to your side. And if that right knee is feeling a little unsupported here, you might choose to bring your block there underneath your knee, or even stack that left knee underneath your right. And as you probably guessed, we're staying for a bit of a longer hold here today. So really find a place that's comfortable for you, making the pose work for your body, not the other way around. And then inviting in some stillness as best you can. Let's take another inhale here. As you exhale, slowly start to bring yourself back through center. Taking your time to transition as you switch out your legs. Left knee comes in, right leg extends. Taking an inhale to prepare. And an exhale to find your twist. Left knee coming up and over your body. Left shoulder staying grounded into the mat. Maybe reaching that left arm out by your side. And then readjusting, adding props as needed so that you can get nice and comfy cozy in this shape. Allowing yourself at least 3 more rounds of breath here. Maybe a few more if this is feeling really nice for your body today. Let's take one more inhale here. As you exhale, slowly unwinding your twist, coming back through center. This time we'll send the left leg long to meet the right, moving towards our Shavasana corpse pose for today. So as always, you have options in your practice, and especially for this final resting pose. I'll offer you 3 specific options for today, but if you know where you want to go, please feel free to go there. So your first option is your traditional Shavasana with the arms by your sides, legs extended, allowing yourself to really relax into the support of the mat here. Option 2, which might feel a little bit better for your low back, is to plant the soles of your feet and allow your knees to drop in towards one another. This is called constructive rest pose. Now your third option, if you have that yoga block, set up for your bridge pose, planting your feet, and then rise your hips just enough to slide that block underneath your sacrum here. So not in the low back, not in the butt cheeks, but right in between. And then slowly bringing your knees in towards your chest. We'll start to extend the legs up, finding our inversion here. So allowing your waist to be supported by the block here as your legs reach up to the sky, and finding some softness there in the legs if you can. And then arms can rest wherever you choose, just allowing your shoulders to stay relaxed. So those are your 3 options if you want to use one of those for Shavasana today. Or of course, you can come to your own version of your resting pose. But if you're not already there, please take the next about 5 rounds of breath to slowly make that transition. And we will be taking a slightly longer Shavasana today, so really get yourself comfortable here. And as you settle in, I'll offer you a short meditation to help you really relax into these final moments of your practice today. So as you find stillness in your Shavasana, please bring your awareness back to your breath, allowing your attention to follow each inhale and exhale, as if you're watching waves on the ocean. Allowing each round of breath to bring you deeper and deeper into this present moment, into this deeper awareness of your body, beginning to feel the parts of your body that are connected to the earth, and allowing the weight of your body to sink even more deeply into that support. And now drawing your awareness all the way down to the soles of your feet, allowing your feet to soften and relax, relaxing your toes, the soles of your feet, the arches of your feet, relaxing the tops of your feet, your heels, your ankles, relaxing your shins, your calves, softening around your knees, relaxing your thighs, softening around your glutes and your hips, relaxing around your pelvis, softening your low belly, your low back, relaxing these muscles around your waist, your abdomen, your chest, relaxing the muscles of your back body, the muscles around your shoulder blades, relaxing your upper arms, the space around your elbows, your forearms, your wrists, your hands, your fingers, your palms, feeling both arms and both legs completely relaxed. And softening around your collarbones, your throat, your neck and shoulders, Relaxing your jaw, the muscles of your face, the space between your eyebrows. Softening all of your head and your face. Feeling your entire body relaxed and heavy, resting into the support of the earth. And I invite you to stay here in this state of relaxation and stillness for as long as you'd like. We'll stay here together for about another 3 minutes. Savasana. Begin to bring your awareness back onto your mat, back into this space. Begin to bring your awareness back onto your mat, back into this space. Once again, feeling the parts of your body that are connected to the earth. Beginning to take in any sounds, smells, sights around you. And as you continue to arrive back into this space, into this moment, you may invite some gentle movement back into your body. Perhaps wiggling your fingers and your toes, rolling your wrists and your ankles, moving and stretching in any way that feels good as you reawaken. Moving slowly, gently, begin to roll onto the right side of your body. Pausing here in this place of transition and taking a few breaths in through your left nostril. Moving slowly, gently, begin to press yourself back up to a seated position. As you find your easy seat, allowing your eyes to remain closed, your body to stay relaxed. And if you so choose, inviting your hands to meet in front of your heart. Sealing your practice today with one more moment of gratitude. Thanking yourself for showing up to this practice today and for taking this time just for you. I thank you so much for meeting me on the mat today. Namaste.